How's it going, everybody? Good Monday. Welcome to another live stream. As usual, we're gonna take your question, but today is special for two main reasons. The first one, we'll go quickly over this, but I finally reached a 1,500 subscriber. Thank you so much, guys, for the amazing support that you gave me along that year, that journey. I really appreciate the fact that you take time of your day to watch and hang out with me on this stream. I love it. It feels special to me to do this video. And I'm sorry, I tried to read. I tried to go searching for notes here. What I'm looking for is the release note for probably the main reason that you're here. Firmware 1.12.8 just got released. For some reason, I'm having a hard time finding it on my phone. If I can find it on my phone, if not, nope, doesn't want to read the PDF from my phone. I don't know why. Anyhow, doesn't matter. What matters is I'm with you guys. First, make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you didn't give it a thumbs up already. If you want to talk with us in the chat, make sure that you are subscribed. Otherwise, the chat won't let you write in your comments. And I want to know your opinion. What do you think of firmware 1.12.8? I'm just going to put that on the side. Gonna watch a coffee mug today. I don't want to spill coffee on the console like I did before, live on the stream. If you guys follow along. If you're a regular viewer, you saw me doing this. I'm just gonna put this right here. There you go. Yeah, that's safe. Okay. What do we have here? A USB key with the new firmware of the console. Let's go into this view. I'm gonna take my USB key here, put it on the top left of the console, and we will do together a live firmware update. Hi, Rolf. Welcome back to the show. Always good to have you around. Let's go into setup. And if you never did a firmware update from a USB key, there's two ways that you can do a firmware update. Actually, one is if you plug the USB port in the back into a computer and access the OS partition, and you can change the firmware revision in there. The other way to do it is to take a USB key like I did, put it on the top left of the console, go into setup menu, general, do update, and looking on my USB key, I can see here that I have firmware 1.12.8. We're gonna do a firmware update live. Gonna press update. Just before I press update, sound's probably gonna cut. I will have to reboot the console. Maybe I will lose everything that I have here. So one thing that I should do before doing this is doing a backup of my show. So I'm gonna come here, Wayne live stream. That's my live stream setup. I'm gonna press save. I'm gonna save that, confirm, and I'm gonna save it to the USB key. I'm just gonna call it like this. There we go. That way I have a backup. So if something happened and my console file get corrupted and my USB file get corrupted, I will have to rebuild this. But other than, I don't think it should be an issue at all. Usually when I do firmware update, it just go straight to the firmware update. Okay, enough of me talking. We're gonna update from 12.6 to 12.8. Update. And we'll see what happened. If you wonder what happened to 12.7, I don't think it was ever publicly released. I think it was just an internal release, or it was there maybe for like a day, so doesn't really matter. Then we're going to press confirm. From Tony, thanks for this video. I'm always learning about firmware update. I guess it's from updating Windows. Please don't start me up on Windows. Okay. Windows update are such a pain. Before we switch, just let me tell you this story. This week, I was doing a live event with a PowerPoint, corporate gig. A big screen in the back, single microphone, PowerPoint running from a computer. And in the middle of the conference, the freaking Windows update started to just turn down everything and do his thing, do his Windows update. Why? Why do we have to live through this in 2022? Let's now reboot our console. The way to reboot our console will be to press the shutdown button. I'm going to confirm, and I'm going to reset it with the... I think it's set up in Ohm. It will tell me right away. So shut down the console, confirm. Can you guys hear me back on the chat? Hey. I think we do. For some reason, I just don't know why I don't have the music playing back. Can you guys hear me? Can you just confirm that you guys hear me? Please. I'm gonna check with my phone just to make sure that we are up and running. Yes, this is working. We still have sound. Great. Do you guys hear the background music? I think it's still going on the OBS side. I think I just don't hear it in my headphone. I'm just gonna double check my source here, main source, my level source. That's good. Let me do just a quick reset of my audio interface. Gonna change it to 8 channel and back to 2. But I don't hear it. So it probably no, it's not the solo. Actually, I need to be in solo to hear it, because otherwise, actually, the way my setup is built, the background music is coming from OBS, and it's a parallel input to the console in OBS. So they get mixed together in the console, but now I don't hear it. And if you give me a second here, I'm just gonna fix that. It's probably something happening in OBS. Give me 1 second, guy. I want to fix this because I like to hear it. I'm a princess that like to hear his background music, so give me a sec. There you go. It's probably when I turn off the console in OBS. I do have my camera still working. Great. What's going on now? I'm looking, and I'm gonna take a look on Facebook, I think, or if somebody can be, if somebody can post in the chat the firmware release note, please do so. I know they were posted on Facebook recently, and I know it's not much, but I just want to make sure we go over this. So, somebody, Gary on Facebook, posted that today. Thank you very much, Gary. It's a really long post that I'm going to scroll through to get up to the firmware release for 1.12.8. Okay, let's start actually with 1.12.7, or we're just gonna call it 0.7 to make things shorter. Basically, this is a bug fix, and we're gonna try, if possible, to recreate these bugs and see if they're fixed, or maybe not. Who knows? I just want to make sure this. Hold on. Where does it start? Okay. Firmware 1.12.8 as of June 7, 2022. Okay. The Win console firmware update may offer functional improvement, new effect, and new feature or bug fix. Can be used with Copilot 1.9. This is the lowest version that you can use this firmware update with. And new feature, bug fix. There we go. New feature. Support new main LCD type. So what that mean? There we go. For all the people who complain about the LCD replacement, new LED main LCD type is probably meaning that Behringer now have a better screen that they can ship the console with. So if you're having a hard time with your display and you are on a wait list to get a replacement one, they probably just open up the amount of possible display that they can have as a replacement for your broken display. Wing live card icon rename 1 to 1 and 2 for a consistency with silk print. Okay, I don't know, but we can definitely see this is not the same thing here. SD card 1, SD card 2. Yeah, they definitely changed some wording there, and they changed the icon for sure. Can I go out? No. And is there anything new in setting? They changed that. They just rephrased stuff there. Okay. That was all in 0.7. Now, bug fix. Wing live, sporadically wrong session number fix. Okay. Analog gain switch impulse fix. Okay, I didn't know there was a problem with the analog gain on the console. Wing live loop play fix. So did we had a problem with live looping? I think so. If you ever had a problem, it's probably fixed now. Nothing that we can test so far. Nothing that we can take a look at, but we'll see. What else? Okay, now bug fix from 12.8. Crash fix for race condition in gate and post fader insert. If you remember, a couple weeks ago, some guy posted a video on Facebook saying that he could crash his wing using his gate and doing something in the gate. I know that was addressed to the people at Music Scribe, and they fixed that. So if you had a problem with when you were in the gate section and your console was crashing, this is fixed. They took care of that. After that, there's a couple points here. Either hold the blank button on the main display during power up or Either hold the blank button on the main display. So the blank button is this one right there under my face. You cannot see it, sorry. But the blank button on the right of the screen. When you hold it on the main display during power up, or open the setup global edit page. Okay, so if you were to press the blank button and open setup, you would crash the console. Is it fixed? Let's try it. I'm gonna hold down the blank on general. Oh, actually, I didn't know that. If you are on the setup menu and you press the blank button, hi, Adman. Didn't miss much so far, my friend. I just did the firmware update, basically. But I just discovered something. If you are on the setup page and you press the blank button, the page on top just changed by himself. Is it true for everything? Nope. Meters, no. Where do we have... What happened? Actually, we're going to try it. What happened when you press the blank button on all the pages? In library does change the page that you're seeing. In routing, not much happening. Meters, not much. Effect, nothing. Home. Can you change that by going... Oh, yeah. Nice. You can. It's actually faster to just go with your finger to where you want to go, but the blank button actually changed that. So I guess if you are using a mouse because you don't want to use the touchscreen for some reason, I know some people do that even if their touchscreen are working, you can actually use the blank button here on the right to change your view screen. What else do we have? Point number 3. Hold on. Totally misread that. In order to access OS, hold on. What's going on here? Is it something like this? Nope. Okay, whatever. Point 3. It's a bug fix. Doesn't really matter. Okay. A drive icon will appear on a computer, like connecting a flash drive to an external drive. Click the drive to open. So this is in order to access the OS, so they changed that. So if you are doing a firmware update, not the way that I just did, you can plug your wing and point that. Am I? No, I'm totally wrong here. What's going on? That's it. That's all the firmware update that we had. Okay. Well, that was short. It's just bug fix. That's it. That was it, guys. How useful was that firmware update? Actually, if you were having problem with your console, I believe this is something that can help you a lot, that can improve your quality of life. But that's it. It's just the couple bug fix that we had with firmware 12.8. So this is probably why they didn't change the number to 13 or 14. We're still in 1.12, and this is just the other dot is just to say this is bug fix, basically. So what else was going on after that? I want to know, how was your weekend? Did you guys have any show with your wing? Here, life is getting crazy. I'm getting so busy with my my schedule right now. I'm doing a couple events a week, not really with the wing. It stay most of the time in my basement because people do mostly corporate gigs now. So I don't know. It just doesn't rent as much as I would like it to be rent by band that hire me or companies that hire me. But I'm gonna go. I'm gonna use it next week. Actually, I think after this live, I have to pack it because I will be gone for a week. Actually, maybe it's a good time to tell you guys that the next live stream on the 20th, I think, will happen. Or not. I think I'm busy for the 20th and the 27th of June. So this is probably the last live stream for the next 2 weeks. because I will be busy. Not as much as my friend Panda Lonely, who just joined the chat. Hey, everybody, please say hi to Panda Lonely. I know he is currently in an airport waiting for his plane to Denver. He's going out to do some stuff over there in Denver. Leaving from Montreal. I hope you have time to catch your flight, buddy. But all that to say that for the next few weeks, I will be out on the road with the console. I will maybe bring a camera and do a little bit of a vlog if possible. Like I said before, I want to change the format of the vlog. You guys saw enough of me just rolling through the province of Quebec. I want to flip that more toward a console because I think you guys are more interested in what's going on during the show, what's going on during those events more than just seeing me doing the load in and the load out. So, okay, Patrick, I'll be back at you as soon as I can read the chat here. Just to say that, however, yeah, please note, next 2 weeks, no live stream. I'm out on the road with the console. I will try to post a video. I can probably bring my laptop and edit some kind of vlog-ish stuff on the road just so I can send you guys some content. I know I'm late in the video, but I'm running. My life is so busy right now. It's crazy. It's like I had a conversation with a couple of friends the other day. Everything that was postponed with COVID and all the show that we're supposed to be booked at this period of the year are all happening at the same time. So I have schedule problems. Sometimes I'm out doing 3 shows with 3, with all my bands that I'm working with are out on the road having show. I have to choose where I'm going. So it's the same thing for me as everybody else in the province of Quebec right now, where a lot of people quit the job and a lot of people that remain are just so busy. So busy life, but I won't let you guys down. I promise that I will do more video. I just need to work through this summer and things gonna slowly come down. I don't think I will go out on vacation this winter, so maybe I will have time to spend more time in the basement doing YouTube video like I used to during the pandemic, where everything was shut down. So we'll see what happened with that. Okay, now let's go to the chat. Let's see some question that you guys asked me. Okay, the Wing GEQ effect have a bug. When you turn on the plugin, change polarity. Okay, well, let's take a look at that. Let's go into console view. The GEQ. The plugin changed the polarity. Okay, well, easy way to test that is I'm gonna do a copy of my channel. So I'm gonna come here. I'm gonna do a copy of my channel here. Setting, no, is it tool? Source from to, I'm gonna go here to 39, copy. Confirm. I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna change my input to be number 8, the same that I'm using for my vocal microphone. Okay. For some reason 39 doesn't want to, so I'm just gonna come here 40, copy to 38, copy. And I'm gonna set the source to be same as my voice here. So I have exactly the same channel. 38 and 40. It's exactly the same thing, except that one is safe recall, the other one is not. Let's, just for fun, insert a GEQ, a graphic EQ. Where is that? I'm just gonna grab that effect here. We're talking about the graphic EQ, right? Okay, now it's off. If I flip it on my channel 40, and I'm keeping my channel 38, up, like I have right now, this is channel 38, exactly the same thing, but nothing. If I have a phase inversion there, it will cancel pretty much my voice completely on the main out, because what you guys hear right now is the main out of the console, my master. So if I flip that on, I will be canceled. How's it going? Oh my! What's going on here? Wow! Okay, I think we're onto something. Let me prove that it's just a phase inversion, because I'm hearing some comb filtering, I think, in my headphone. Okay, I'm gonna flip the phase on that. Here, invert. Sounds like Donald Duck. I invert the phase on the channel. It just sounds different. So definitely something's going wrong here. Let me try something else. Let me try the true curve on. Is it gonna change anything? Better, but you don't have lows, so it's creating some phase inversion in the low end. Okay, really interesting. I'm not using a lot of graphic EQ. Yeah, Patrick, something's definitely wrong, because right now I changed the true curve. Is the true curve changing something? I think the true curve is changing something in the mid-range. Yeah, I think we just put our hand on something. Ben, thank you very much. True curve, no change. True curve, no. I definitely hear something weird happening when I change true curve between. Listen to the mid-range when listen to the mid-range when I'm speaking and I'm changing it. It's changing a little bit in the. I don't know. Anyhow, it doesn't matter. There's definitely some phasing issue happening here, because if I bring back the in phase, or is it delay? Hold on. Could it be delay? We're gonna try something. On channel 38, the unaffected channel, I'm gonna try to add some delay, really small delay increment here, and maybe I just want to make sure that I'm in phase. Okay, I'm gonna try to put my channel out of phase, and I will play around with the delay and see if I can cancel. I see if I can cancel the delay. 1.5 millisecond is probably a lot, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna go with samples. I'm gonna try simple and see if I can get this thing out of phase. Maybe it's not an out of phase, more just a delay problem. We're gonna try every sample, and I want to see if I can just phase reverse my voice until I don't hear anything. Yeah. Yes, it's changing. Now, everything is back. Okay. Did you guys see what just happened? Now I have both channel open. I have 38 open, and I have 40 open. On channel 38, I have 30 samples of delay. And I create, I check that delay with, I check that delay with the phase reverse on channel 40. So it's perfect. Now it's perfectly on phase. My GEQ is on. And if I flip the phase on it again, everything just get canceled. So GEQ is introducing some delay, some latency, which I guess is normal, because every plugin on the console will add some kind of delay, some kind of latency. I'm gonna totally sidetrack. I'm gonna come back here. Do you know why Midas Desk, the Pro Series, sounds so good because exactly what happened there, the built-in software is retime aligning everything every time that you add another plugin. I think this is why you're so limited in the amount of plugin that you can put on those console, because they create, some delay adjustment to the signal, so everything is again back in phase. So right now we're back in phase because on my channel 38, which is my dry channel with nothing on it, channel 38, with the 32 millisecond of delay, not millisecond, with a 32 sample of delay, we're back in phase again. So I can tell you now that this GEQ is introducing a delay of 32 millisecond. Maybe this is not a bug. Now, I want to check something else. Can we recreate the problem backward? If I go, and if I keep my 32 sample of delay here, and I'm going to try to have that focus. If I can keep my 32 or 33 sample of delay, I think 32 will be the sweet spot. Actually 30, let's see. Okay, I'm having some phasing if I'm moving it around, but 32, 31, 32, 33. Well, it's just fine. It's just phasing a little bit, but I believe 32 is the sweet spot. Okay. What if I turn off the GEQ? Will I be out of phase? Or actually, you know what? This is time to test the true curve. If I turn the true curve off, is it phasing now? Is it doing anything phase weird stuff when I'm speaking? Not much. If there's anything happening here, it's not, throwing me off. But if I turn that GEQ off, we're going to have the same kind of problem that we had before. If I had the GEQ to my main, okay. Let me do two things. We're gonna come back here in delay. Actually, it shows me delay here, but it's accessible. I can access it here. I take the delay off. Now I have two channel with the same signal going at the same time in the main out. But yeah, Darryl said if I had it to my main, for fun, I'm just gonna add it to my main. I have a empty effect slot here. We're gonna add that GEQ here. Confirm, add. It should not cause any phasing issue. If I turn it on and it's phase inverting something, this is probably where we have a problem. How's it sounding now? I think it doesn't sound phase reverse, but I heard a difference in my overall tone in my headphone, and I'm gonna crank my volume here. I heard a difference here when I turn on the delay. It could be just me hearing the 32 sample of delay not being enough to throw me off, but it's enough so I can hear myself in my ear differently. It's just latency. I'm gonna try to turn it off again. I can hear, and I will need you guys, I cannot hear that myself. I can hear in listening to me in my headphone. I can hear a difference when I turning the GEQ on, but it could be just the 32 sample delay between my voice and my headphone. The frequency resonating in my skull. I need you guys. Is there any difference when I turning it on or off or on? To me, it sounds better when it's on. But Illuminox, I will trust you're here. If you do not hear a massive, I'm hearing a lot of change in the mid-range with my voice when this thing is on, just because of the latency. Yes, there's the difference. Not too bad though. No, I think it's usable. From what I hear, it's usable. Definitely, if you were to use, double channel with GEQ on it, the 32 millisample of delay can definitely throw you off. But I don't think it's broken. I will be back on this. I don't think it's broken. I think it's just introducing latency enough that it can throw you out. But we have a solution for that. If you're using parallel processing on a vocal with the GEQ, the way to avoid this problem is to add the same amount of latency to your other channel, like we just did here on my channel 38. And if I turn that on, it's gonna sound like garbage. It's gonna sound like the two signal getting a phase problem between the two source getting a phasing problem because of that. So okay, interesting, really interesting what's going on here. But I think if this is your problem, sorry, I'm just gonna reduce the amount of source that I have. I'm just gonna take that out of my signal change. To me, we're back to where we started. So okay, maybe not a problem the same way that you think it was. I don't think the GEQ is broken. I think the GEQ is introducing latency. If you are using GEQ on parallel bus, can definitely create some problem there. So we will need to see what's going on. So now let's go back to the question that were asked before this. I'm sorry, I'm just scrolling the chat here. Do you notice a drop in level when using Matrix as a main send? Someone drew my attention to that. I don't know. We can try it out right now. We can just not use my main out. Right now what you hear is a main out going. We're going to build a send from Matrix 1 to my USB output. So I'm going to make sure that I'm at 0 dB. I want to make sure that I'm post fader. The pre is not on. And we're going to go into routing here. Output. I want to go USB out. And instead of main, we're going to try out Matrix. And just for fun of it, I'm going to keep the left channel main out 1. And I'm going to use Matrix 1 right for the right channel. Is this working? This is only working on one side. Why is the oh, because my metrics are probably down. No, it's not. Matrix 1 at 0 dB. We're gonna fine tune that to make sure this is at really 0 dB, not even 0.1 under. Come on. That's my main. Okay, that's my main. 0 dB. And we're gonna go up and use Matrix to 0 dB. This is as close as we can get. Now, guys, let me ask you. Do you hear a difference in volume between left and right? This should be as mono as you can get. I want to make sure that it's the same processing and I have absolutely no EQ curve on this thing. This is my, what you see in the matrix now is my main out. So how does it sound for you guys? You tell me if there's a difference in volume between using the matrix or not. I just want to make sure that these are off. I think it's the same thing. Let me take a look at my VU meter. If I look at my VU meter on OBS, it's all the same thing for me. So really good question. I don't know. No difference between when it's properly set. Patrick, this is what I thought. Okay. Okay. So we're just gonna make sure that I'm gonna reassign my stuff the way it should be. That way I don't end up with a mono stream like I did last week. There we go. And let's see what's going on in the chat after that. Patrick said, this update was really, has been very important to me, fixing the issue using the SD card management. I'm gonna guess it's because of your software. For those of you guys who are looking for a little fun software that you can use with your wing, please visit Patrick's website, x32ram.com. He's got some really cool stuff for the wing and the X32, running Reaper with your console if you are a Reaper user and you want to have more control over your console. If you are a PC user of Reaper, go check Patrick's website. He's probably has some really cool stuff. Patrick, if you can leave a link down below for your website, that will be really appreciated. Most issue were not seen or known from normal use, so I'm gonna guess this is for your software and that stuff. So okay, I'm gonna guess your software are now better. This is also something that I need to look at. I'm so sorry. I'm just so busy. I didn't have time to install all your software that you sent me for checking out with Reaper, because I used to be a Reaper user a lot. Nowadays, I just don't do any recording, so we'll see. We'll see if I can find a use for them. But I'm pretty sure. Well, the comment that I heard are really good. So guys, go check Patrick's website, please. Okay. Let's move on. Oh, now you have the option to do audio scrubbing and marker management, loop between marker and jelly. Okay. Okay, so definitely more option for how does it call that software? I don't remember. Is it Wing Automate that will allow you to use the Wing as a recorder tape machine? Go check Patrick's website if you want to have extra stuff for your Wing software wise. He's got some really cool stuff going on. Also, let me ask you, Patrick, is there a software from it's Wing Live Automate? Okay, is there a software for the Wing that will allow you to divide the stuff recorded on the SD card coming from your website soon? Because I heard from somewhere that there might be a software from your hand coming that will allow you to take the recorded track from an SD card and just divide it before you put it into a software, or to compile your multi-track session into a file that can be read by the Wing. Let me know if that's coming from you or not. I'm really interested to know about that software, because I have some session that I would like to convert into, file that I can read from my Wing. I would like to do some virtual sound check with that. So if that's an option coming from you, I'm sure I'm not the only one that want to do this. Okay. Hi, Chris Greco. You're slammed in New York. Don't get too hard on New York, man. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through the chat, see what I missed, because my screen here doesn't allow me to go back in the chat. I would need a mouse to do this, and I don't have one around. Because I just went everything wired for some reason with my computer now. I just feel better. Oh, really interesting, Patrick. If you can have the information about the latency of all the effect introduced by the wing, I think it will be useful for people doing parallel stuff and not 100% insert of the effect. I think we should have that available publicly if possible. It will be really helpful for people to know the amount of latency introduced by certain plugin because to me personally, latency is the biggest showstopper when it comes to mixing sound. Introducing latency in in-ears, in monitor, can make or break the result that you have doing sound. Let me give you an example. One of the venue that I work, we have side field that are fairly close. You know, they are within 20 feet, so 5-6 meters away from the lead singer that is standing in the middle of the room. And at one point, I was sending out vocal into, you know, the lead vocal into monitor and the side field at the same time. And I was like, I have to crank the side field really loud to hear them because the sound is not in phase, or it's not arriving at the same time from the monitor that is really close to me versus the side field. So what I did is I delayed the monitor in front of me, the difference, you know, I measured the difference from the side field to the monitor. That was like something like 2 meters, 3 meters. And I applied 3 meters of delay on the monitor, and suddenly everything was in phase, everything was in time at the lead singer position. I almost double the amount of power, or double the amount of volume that I can send, and I'm not feeding back in the monitor, and I have a really powerful feeling at the lead vocal position because everything is in phase. It's not, you know, the same wave traveling in space from the side field to the monitor is hit me at the same time. It's just feel massive instead of, you know, canceling some frequencies or not. Way better. So latency is a huge thing that you have to think about when you're doing sound. I said also that trick before. If you are doing a live show in a really small place, try to time align your PA with your band. What I usually do is I set up my rock and roll band. I set all the amp at the same position on stage as the snare. So my drum amps are on the side of the drummer, and I measure the distance between that line of sound versus the PA, and I delay the PA from that amount. So the sound, you know, physically leaving the snare and the amps travel in the air and get reinforced by the PA at the same time, not, you know, both wave leaving the stage at the same time, because there's pretty much no latency when you are miking up something on stage. So sound, you know, leaving the snare being at the same time reproduced by the PA with almost no latency, leaving the stage and traveling into the room, and now hitting a wall. Then after that, the sound of the stage hitting a wall, it just create that big mush of frequencies in that room. That will save you a lot of trouble if you just delay your PA to be in time, to be in phase with your stage. Okay, now I'm back to where I was on the screen. Thanks for the GEQ lesson. Well, my pleasure. I learned something today, and I hope you guys learned something too. Actually, we learned two things. We learned the blank button, and we learned the GEQ introducing delay. So just be careful if you are using. Just be careful if you are using this insert point on bus, because sometimes. Is there a wet dry? How do you wet dry something? Is it only on the bus or on the channels that you can wet dry something? Let me try this. Can I GEQ my channel? Oh no, wrong channel. Gonna come here. Can I GEQ my channel again? Confirm. Yes. I do not have a wet dry option on this one. Is it a perfect thing if I go in the... Oh, I would need to change my effect bank. I'm gonna go none, and I'm gonna change my effect. I'm just gonna use this one. There we go. Nope. If I go... Whoa. Okay, so it's only certain effects that have a wet dry on them. So you cannot... It will be hard to have a wet dry of the GEQ somewhere if you're not using it into bus that you send to main out to do some weird stuff. But sorry, I just read the chat. There's an X32 as software to recompose the SD session, and it worked fine for the wing, same format. Okay, I will take a look at that. I'm trying to look at a software from my live session that I want to turn into SD card format. Okay. Were these 30 milliseconds or 30 samples? It was 32 samples. And if Music Tribe don't want to release, the official delay time for the plugins, we can definitely just do a live stream or a session. When I'm doing those random live stream, I can just do the same thing that we did here and just recreate that simple sample adjustment stuff, and we can basically learn all the sample amount of delay for each plugin just by having it phase reverse, and we find the sweet spot and boom, just write it down. So it will be a really long research and video to do so, but it can definitely be done if the information do not leak from the maker of the console. Thank you for being with us, Patrick. Have a good one. Hope you have a good dinner with your friends tonight. Thank you for being here. Rolf, wet dry only on time-based effect? Yes, I believe we just discovered that the wet dry is only on time-based effect. Maybe I can try to find something else that has time-based. Is there anything in the standard effect that we could want to have a wet dry effect for real? Maybe the exciters? Nope. Psycho-based? Nope. Rotary could be something that you want to have a mix. There's a mix button in the plugin itself, not tape machine. Yeah, the dry is basically the wet dry. No, I think it's only on reverb, delay. That's yeah. Basically, everything in the effects 1 through 8 will be able to have a mix knob on it. I don't think the other one can, because most of the time you don't want to use them running in parallel. Like, you want time-based effect to be running in parallel. But I'm thinking about other plugins have the same delay time. We'll need to see bands about that. We'll need to have the official list, but it's probably not true. It's probably not true that all the plugins have the same amount of delay. And actually, I'm thinking about something. Let's have some fun here. We're gonna take the same GEQ. I'm gonna apply it onto my vocal. I'm gonna bring up my other one, and I want to make sure that I have the exact same level. So I'm gonna go here, 0 dB. I'm gonna go here to channel 38. Sorry, I'm gonna switch that to 0 dB. Now, if I apply the same thing, gotta come here. Now I just apply my GEQ and add 32 sample of delay. Something else that could happen is if you are moving around frequencies, we're doing parallel here. We're doing parallel processing with something that is not supposed to be parallel processing. I'm gonna take 1K because this is a frequency that I will hear in my voice. Or actually 1.5 is something that I have a lot in my voice. If I'm boosting up 1.5 here, do you hear not only the 1.5 but all the other weird stuff happening? Or if I'm gonna turn it down. Because we're doing parallel stuff, it's there but it's not there, and it's creating some probably comb filtering with the other channel, and it can change depending on the amount of processing. Like I'm gonna try to turn all the frequencies down just a little bit and applying depending on how the console is built, meaning that maybe the processing time of the plugin is made so it will take into consideration the full amount of delay that the plugin can give, or it will be dependent on the use. Meaning, again, if you take a plugin like this and you don't use it a lot, maybe its delay time will be shorter. Right now, I try to turn down pretty much every frequencies by a couple dB just to create some use of the plugin. And I don't think, or actually to do this properly, I should just do 1 dB on every single 1 dB on every single frequencies. And oh yeah, what's going on? Hold on. Okay, no, my bad. It's just something that is vibrating around me that creating that noise. Please don't mind that. I'm doing some clothes cleaning as we're speaking, and it's probably my dryer that is making something vibrate in the house. So don't mind that noise, but I just want to take everything 1 dB and see if we still have the same problem with the frequencies, because it, like I said, it could introduce more or less time depending on the amount of use of the plugin. You probably seen that on recording software. Some recording software do introduce longer time the more you abuse them. It's just look ahead processing in the computer, but because we are live here, we cannot have look ahead processing. Okay, now I have a GEQ that is only 1 dB lower than everything else. We're just gonna, what I mean is all the frequencies are 1 dB lower. It should be the same if I'm taking out my delay time here on channel 38. It's pretty much the same thing. To be really accurate, I would need to bring that up, bring that down by 1 dB, and we can check what's going on here. There you go. Try to turn this on or off. Not a lot of change. This is without, this is the 2 channel in parallel with no GEQ. If I turn GEQ on, it's the same thing. And if I'm plus, actually channel 38 is plus 1 dB. And if I apply the delay, it's going to come back in phase enough. That is not a problem. So there you go. Now let me just take that GEQ out. I don't want to see it anymore. There we go. That is out. That is out. Okay. And I want to take that delay out again. And I'm going to turn down the fader. Well, we learned something today. That the GEQ has an amount of 32 sample of delay. Well, guys, do you have any more question? There's a bit of slowing down here in the chat of what's going on, or my computer is just crapping on me. No, there you go. Chat, I slowed down a little bit. Guys, if you have any more question, now would be the time to say so. Meanwhile, I want to say to the 20-something people that are in the chat, thank you very much. To the 1,500 people who subscribed, not 15,000. That will be that will be for another day. But to the 1,500 people who subscribe to the channel, thank you very much. I hope you're going to see this live stream long enough to see this message. Thank you. You have no idea what it means to me. I really, really appreciate the fact that you take time to subscribe to that weirdo channel where we talk about a console all the time and we just dig through it really as far as we can go. You need to go to the theater events. Well, okay. Have a nice night. Thanks for the labor. Thank you very much. Willing to pay for more. Wait for a supply chain issue. If this is worth it. What are we talking about? MFF or MFM? What are we talking about here? Willing to pay more for we're talking about the screen issue here, or are we talking about something else? You rock. Thank you very much, my friend. Gentoni Music Production, is that how you say you? Gentoni, welcome. I think it's the first time I'm seeing you around here. Thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you very much for subscribing. If you can be seen in the chat, it's because you subscribe to the channel. Look up in the chat. Well, come on, you're gonna make me take a look at my phone again. What did you say? What did you say before? I don't think I've seen you. I don't see your message, MFM. Nope, don't see your message, my friend. You will probably have to write down again. I don't know what happened to that. All you said before is a yes up there. So, okay, guys, I think that will be it for today. We went on this for about an hour. I think this is long enough for a firmware release video. You guys skipped through those video on the playback anyway, so I hope you learned something if you were here with us today. If you're watching this in playback, thank you very much to watch until the end. I really appreciate that. If you watch in playback, please leave a comment below saying that you watch in playback. That really help me. It helps the algorithm know that you guys are here and you guys are chatting and watching these live stream. Until the next one in a few weeks, I'm gonna take a few weeks of break, not because I want to, because I will be out on the road and I'm gonna bring this baby out to do a couple 1,000 kilometers with me out on the road. Until that time, it's gonna come back in July. I think the live stream will come back on July. I think it's July 3rd or 4th. That is the next Monday. Okay, hold on. Chris usually have some really interesting idea. Let me read that before we sign out. I have a theory. It might be a long shot. Is there a no Midas wing? Do you think that will allow 96K or on the beverage? No, no. I don't think, Chris, you will ever seen a wing going at 96K. If we do, I will be really surprised and really happy about it, but I don't think it will ever happen. And just for a business point of view, I don't think it's a good idea to have the wing being able to be clocked at the same speed as your Pro 2 or HD 96, because if this console become clockable at 96, people will use that with the Pro series, and I think this is, nobody will ever tell you about it officially, but I think this is something that Music Tribe wants to avoid for marketing reason. And honestly, if your only point in not buying a wing is because it doesn't clock at 96, please move on. It's not gonna change the console. I wish I could have a way to do it and show you guys that the 96K clock would improve, RTA reading with the really higher frequencies, but it's not gonna change. The real issue has more to do with the sample thing that we just look at than the clock speed, meaning sample alignment is the key. When everything is sample aligned and in phase, like we have on the Pro 2. Basically, okay, hold on. When you apply a GEQ on a channel on a Pro 2, like I just did, instead of having to go on another channel and sample delay that channel, the console is doing it on all the channel at once. The console is calculating the most amount of delay that you have on a single channel and applying that delay to all the other channels. So if you have a channel strip with nothing, and you have a channel strip with 50 sample, another one with 25, the console will time align them. So it will take the channel strip that has stuff on it that will give you a latency of 50 sample. It will take the one that has a 25, a plugin that has a block of 25 sample. It will add another extra 25 sample, so it will be in phase and in time with the one that is 50. And the one that has nothing on it, the console will apply a 50 sample delay on that channel, so it will also arrive in time at your main out. And this is the key that make the Pro 2 stuff sound good. This is the secret that I've learned mixing with those console. There's a little bit of latency when you listen to it into, let's say, in-ears. Let's say that you go analog microphone, convert it into the console, back into analog in-ear. There's a little bit of latency, like maybe 1 or 2 millisecond or up to 5 millisecond. It's just that tiny little bit of latency when you are in front of house mode. Actually, in monitor mode, the console I think is working on a lower latency even. But when you are in front of house mode, you can have up to 6 millisecond of latency on your console in and out. But the fact that everything on the console is in phase is what makes the difference. This was not true with old console like the Yamaha stuff, M7CL, LS9. And this is why the Midas console sounds so good. The preamp, I believe the XL4 preamp that we have in the DL251, the 231 stage box sound really, really good. The distortion overhead on these plugin, the headroom on these preamp sound so good. They have a lot of space for clipping, even if you want to have on-purpose clipping on these console. And the fact that everything is in phase, everything is time aligned going into the main out, this is the key. I'm telling you. But don't believe me, but this is what's missing on the wing. This is what's missing on the M32, on the X32. Okay, Dale. Interesting question. How do you align your PA without knowing the internal delay? There's two things. You can calculate that delay, or you can look at the spec of the console and go around. I mean, if you want to time align your stage, 1 or 2 milliseconds won't be dramatic, because the placement between you and the speaker, and 1 or 2 millisecond is you'd be enough in the ballpark to get your stuff going. But try it, 1 or 2 millisecond of the delay. I think the X32 is like something like 3 or 4 millisecond of latency go from the input to the output. Look on paper, there is chart for that. There's probably a chart for the wing too that will tell you how much latency the maximum input to output latency, or we can just calculate it with a software like Smart. You just plug, the input into the output, and you calculate the latency. It will tell you this is something between 2 and 5 millisecond, which is a lot, but also not that much. It's a lot when it's enough to make you out of phase with something. Sorry, guys. But also, it's not a lot when you are mixing front of house. It's a lot in the monitor, but not a lot. It's a lot in the monitor and on the digital summing world, but standing in the room, it's more than fine. But this is the key. I'm telling you, this is the key. Try your best to align your stage, like Dale said, within 1 or 2 millisecond, and actually try it. Measure your distance, measure your physical distance, and after that, try +3, -3 millisecond to see if it sounds better. Standing in front of the PA where you hear the stage and the two boxes, try to find the sweet spot within 3 to 5 millisecond on your main out with that. I think you will have some, this is a per case scenario depending on how wide your PA is versus the depth of your stage, and try that. Trial and error will give you the sweet spot. It's not only a math calculation, but math will definitely help with that. It's the reason why the M32 is not. I think it's the same reason, Chris, why the M32 is never gonna go up to 96K, because marketing. I think they just want to keep those consoles separate, and I honestly believe it's a good thing. I want to mix more on Pro 2s and HD 96. The Heritage 96 Air, the replacement for the old Pro series. The HD 96 is definitely the replacement for the Pro series. Pro series are still good console. I will still nowadays take one any day of the week, and probably over a wing if I had to. But the thing is, I cannot afford even to use Pro 1 with a DL stage box right now, and I can definitely afford a wing with DL32 stage box if I were to build a new kit. Of course, I'm waiting for the HD 96 Air. If this thing ever become available on the market, I will definitely look into one, because it will be a smaller footprint than the wing. I can fit it in the back of my car. I already have the DL251, and it will have all the feature that I'm talking about, plus all the other stuff that is in the HD Air. I think you have a per. Like on the wing, you have a per bus send EQ, something as crazy as that available. All the effect, all the everything, and the time alignment. Time alignment is key. So we'll see what's going to happen with that. Yeah, the Pro series are getting a little beat up even on the outside world right now. Some of them are really well maintained, but the Pro series, I heard some people, needing power supply, because those consoles are pretty much 20 years old at this point, or at least 15. I could be wrong with some, but I think the Pro 6 was out in the neighborhood of 20 years ago. Could be 18. I could be wrong. So the quality of the mix can be improved when manually adjusting the delay. Maybe it could work the effort when working with a fixed setup. Definitely, Rolf. Definitely. Okay, let's go back into this. Every time I try to leave you guys, just keep bringing me something. If you are working with a band and you have your band set up, I'm gonna use my fake band stuff that I have here. If you really want to be, I'm trying to look for the word that I want to say. If you want to really be by the book on it, you can take your stage, Let's say that you have your drum in the center, you have your guitar, bass. You can take your stage, tape your measurement tape out, and decide on a point. Decide on the perfect standing position in your room. Or actually, I say tape measurement. I would say take your a laser tape measure. Stand in the perfect spot in your room. Point your laser at your PA on the left, on the right. Make sure that you are sitting at the same distance of the two speakers. Now, go put somebody on stage and make sure that he's gonna tell you some measurement that you have with your laser from the position that you are at in the middle of your room. Measure your bass drum, measure your snare, measure your hat, your tom mic, floor, your bass. Bass usually, if the bass player play with no amp, don't do any delay. If you have acoustic guitar, they are not loud enough to impact the acoustic of a band playing. Do that. Guitar amp, they are usually loud enough to influence the front of house. So measure that, and in the delay section of every input, make sure that you can delay for the difference between the PA and the amp. So let's say that I'm gonna go in feet because I used to work in feet. Let's say that you are standing 25 feet or no, 10 feet away from your PA. The measurement doesn't make sense. It just so it's easier to count. Let's say that you are standing 10 feet away from your PA. Let's say that your bass drum is 25 feet away from you. What's the difference? 15 feet? Delay your bass drum by 15 feet. What's the difference with the snare? Your snare is a little further in the back. Your snare is 17 and a half feet, 27 and a half feet away from you. Delay your snare by 17 and a half feet. Do all that measurement for every single input that will impact your front of house. So if your bass player doesn't have an amp, don't do that. If you are having acoustic guitar, don't do that. For your vocal, also don't do that. Keyboard player, no go. Don't delay them. If you can delay your input individually at the same distance, your stage will be in phase with your PA, or as close as you can be with your PA. If you're doing this, you're gonna drive less louder your PA, and you will have a clearer result because everything will be as close as possible in phase with your PA. The other solution when you are doing everything from front of house and the musician hear the delay in their ears is to just delay the PA itself. So you take the same measurement. Let's say that you, like I said, my first example, you take your snare, you align everything with your snare. You're 10 feet away from your PA, your snare is 25 feet away from you. You just delay the PA by 15 feet and it's gonna work, or being really close to. Of course, not everything will be in phase, but it will be close enough and it won't introduce any delay into headphone of musician. The first thing that I just said, the long explanation that I give is just if you are doing on your own front of house, what you do not impact the musician, or if the musician hear or not the delay in the bus send. So if you are doing this and also do the monitor, make sure that the delay, actually I don't know what's the deal with the wing. Let's take a look just quickly in the bus send. Where is the delay tap, the delay point? Is it in the filter? I think it's delay. No, actually the delay is post. When you look at it here, the delay is post. So you can do this on the wing. That will work, and it will not delay musician in the monitor or delay musician in their ear. I hope that give you a good explanation. This is the Candy This is the secret candy of this live stream for those of you who stick till the end. That will be it for me. We've been going on for a long time already, and I have some other stuff to do. I have to fix my RV because I'm going on the 2,000-kilometer trips. So, guys, thank you very much for watching. I cannot wait to see you in the couple Mondays in July. Have a good summer. Have a good time mixing your shows. Have a good time with your wing. Thank you very much for being part of this whole thing. I cannot believe how far we made it, and we have still a lot of road ahead of us. That was cool for me too, Dale. Thank you very much. Please, until the next one, take care of yourself, guys. And I will see you all in 2 weeks, very soon. Take care.